Islam family, the sun it's so beautiful on our beautiful Holy Friday, and I know that we don't want to get into debates. We don't want to talk about things that we feel as though don't need to be talked about, but it does need to be talked about. And we have gotten so used to us Moors on the north, near the North Gate, have gotten so accustomed to talking about things that matter not to us, the things that are very much of a concern for us, or should be a concern for us. We don't even talk about as if we are not the same or one and the same. So the reasons why I came on live today was specifically to talk about a comment in an article, and I'm trying to get our Moors here to reestablish connections with our Moors in South Africa, on that continent, that African continent, to realize Islam, Tamara L, to realize that they're doing what we already should be doing. They are showing you how to regain and reestablish your sovereignty on your ancestral land. And we got to realize that the Rex 84 plan, as well as the secret Treaty of Verona, is why we have gotten ourselves so compromised in the realities that we're sitting here holding up individuals who we should be doing the exact same thing or let me rephrase that, we are doing the exact same thing here in North America. There's something called the decolonization program. It's an international program sponsored by the United Nations, nonetheless, to decolonize ancestral lands that are the Aboriginal and Indigenous individuals that currently are being gentrified by the colonizers. And what is a colonizers? It's a Roman people. Let's just say that, Roman people, for the lack of making this video way lengthy in terminology. You can go to the etimon.com and put in colony, and it'll tell you what it is. It's British. It's a foreign venue on ancestral sovereignty land that doesn't belong to them. Okay, and colonization is a cute way of saying you've been gentrified. It's a cute way of saying somebody has stolen something that does not belong to them. It's a cute way of saying that. That's what colonization is. All right. And the reasons why I came on this live so early, because one, I wanted to get us into the habit of talking about the things that we need to be talking about, and leaving that conversations that we're accustomed to having about their political platform, about their TV shows, about the way they live, has no concern for us. We have our own work to do, and we need to follow the blueprint of South Africa, as well as Julius Malema, because he's trying to appeal to the Aboriginal Indigenous people over here, as well as inspire his family there, which we are one and the same. Because contrary to popular belief, through the doctrines of discovery, a lot of our brothers and sisters got expatriated out of their own homes and lands through that doctrine of discovery, and through the Spanish Inquisition, and pushed over to that particular continent. So the reasons why I came on this live is to inspire Moors to do their own research, to inspire Moors to get into the business of reporting real, factual Islam family, Islam Alicia, Islam Akil. Happy holy day to you as well. So I'm going to get into some of this documentation and get into some of this report. It's a CNN report where it talks about the headline of the report, and I'll post it later on. I'll post it or share it later on my timeline. And it's called "South Africa Hits Back at Unfortunate Trump Tweet on Land Reform," right? And when we talk about land reform, we talk about a redistribution of the resources to the Aboriginal Indigenous individuals who, through the doctrine of discovery and through colonized hypothecation practices, have been taking your land from you. And multiple supreme laws of the land, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, which I will never stop talking about, because that is what they can hold you to. That is your treaty with the United States of America minor, because there is a United States of not United States major, which is us, which is Moors, who established that unity with the colonizers when they were here on those 13 original colonies for commerce and trade. That was their purpose for coming here, and many of them came here as indentured servants, which is a cute way of calling them a slave without actually calling them a slave. Just like they try to use African American or black as a cute way of calling the Aboriginal indigenous people here slaves, and disconnecting you from the land, so you don't realize what they're doing over in South Africa you should be doing here. And the very first thing you need to do to claim your land and hereditaments is to be in your proper person, and that's truly what nationality is, in a realignment to your own nation, Islam. And so let me get into the document to a degree. All right, Johannesburg. And we always got to realize the Secret Treaty of Verona, which is between Article 1, 2, or 3. Not sure which one, but it specifically speaks about how the media is being used to denationalize you every day. And that is exactly why, also through the Rockefeller educational system, why you don't know you have a nationality, and you don't know this, you are on your ancestral land, and you are being hypothecated in every specific way and shape or form, is because they have been using the Secret Treaty of Verona to denationalize you and to denationalize me, so they can hypothecate our wealth resources. And that is what they've been doing, all busy messing us the hell up. Constitutional principles you need to learn. There's no such thing as the Constitution for the United States of America 1791 being suspended. We never suspended it. It is our constitutional agreement between those colonies in regards to our land. And if they violate any of those, they violate the treaty. And if they violate the treaty, they have no safety net on Moroccan soil, because that is what gave them the protection here in our landmass family. And we need to just really be grasping these principles and judge articles and documents and look at them with discernment. Don't get angry about it. Just know what is being done. You're being denationalized in every venue. You're being denationalized by your brothers and sisters in these rap videos. You're being denationalized in school reform. You're being denationalized on applications. You're being denationalized in articles, and you need to stand up and you need to rebut all of those so-called denationalizing genocidal claims. Islam? All right. Johannesburg, CNN. South Africa hits back at Donald Trump on Thursday after the U.S. president criticized the country's land reform policies in an overnight tweet. Now, we always have to redirect. U.S. president, they're talking about the United States Service Corporation, because their specific government has been dissolved by their practices and violating their oaths and obligations on this landmass. So that's why they had to create a service corporation, because they destroyed their own union with the help of the very individuals, the British Crown, that they have been trying to get expatriated from. And now they got to repatriate back there, because there will be a great exodus here, because they won't honor the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, as well as the American Constitution, which is their only lawful Moorish sanctioning authority, or privilege to be on our lands. That's what gave them privilege, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. But before we would even sign a Treaty of Peace and Friendship with them, they had to establish their own government and manage their own selves. And isn't it so funny? A 180 reflection, look back. Now we have to reestablish ourselves on our own land, and that is what the Moorish American Consulate is doing. Redoing exactly what they're doing in South Africa. The courtesy began The controversy began when Trump tweeted last Wednesday that he had asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who we've been sending multitude of nationality writs to, multitude of writs of anything, writs of fact, writs of centuria, all these different things. I said that certiorari. I said that wrong. So we should already know who that is. And closely study the South Africa land and farm seizures and expropriation and the large-scale killing of farmers. Now, we always got to sit here and say the large-scale killing of farmers. What does that look like? And we always have to qualify statements that these individuals make, because those statements are in disharmony and are causing schisms on our land, and they violate every treaty, every constitution, because they should not be using such language without verifying and qualifying those languages. So when we talk about large-scale killings of farmers, what does that mean? When we talk about that, we will talk about that a little bit further, but I want to get through this. Trump tweets appeared to be in response to a report by Fox News, which alleged that the South African government was seizing land from white farmers. So now let's talk about that white word that we love to sit here and throw around, but has no validity when we are referring to the Albions or the modern Europeans that came over here on those colonial plantations. Okay, let's talk about that. That was a privileged status that they had hypothecated from our indigenous and aboriginal Moors who came on the land, because it was a status primarily for our people who came here to visit their people, to have a priority status within our Moroccan government. It was never meant for no modern European. It was never meant for no Albion. And if you read the actual definition of a free white person, it absolutely excludes them from the classification. So that again is called a lie. He talks about Fox News pushes fake news, but here his whole tweet is pushing fake news too, because there's no such thing as white people that look Albion. Okay, let's stay there. So what he's ultimately saying is people who have colonized the land, which is a cute phraseology, because if they don't have claim to the land, if they did have claim to the land, they would have some type of lawful document where a African prince or an African sovereign gave them interest, because they can never give you anything, because that is inheritance for your bloodline. It's an inheritance for your bloodline. We can give them access and utilization of our land mass, but it's supposed to be given with compensation and only for a short amount of time. So if your heir was to give land deeds to a specific colonizer, that would be to utilize the land, to keep it up, but they were supposed to be making payments and tributes to the individuals creating those deeds for them. But if another heir decided to end that agreement, they had every right to do it, because after the land automatically cedes to the next heir in line, and that is how land is transferred from parent to child. So when they say seizing it up, that means they are actually reclaiming their ancestral heritage, which the United Nations on the Declarations of the Rights of Indigenous People, as well as the Declaration of Human Rights, as well as most local treaties and constitutions also endorse and support. If your land has been hypothecated or stolen from you under the Doctrine of Discovery, under the Secret Treaty of Verona, under the Spanish Inquisition, you have every lawful right to reclaim what was taken from you illegally and you have never received compensation for. Islam family? South Africa totally rejects that narrow perception, which only seeks to divide, which is what which is what the Secret Treaty of Verona was intended to do, to create schisms within our families, so we don't know who the true target, who the true enemy is that we should be fighting. Seeks to divide our nation and reminds us of our colonial past. The government tweeted, South Africa can speed up the pace of land reform in a careful, inclusive manner, and does not divide our nation. Hysterical comments and statements do not assist in the progress. This was said by a representative who told CNN. The majority of South Africans want to see land reform, which means they want their ancestral land back from those who stole them illegally and through violence and deceit. The majority of our farmers, white and black, that's called decolonization, where they're talking about colonial foreigners and Africans who have a nationality, and they're denationalizing them with that actual verbiage. And per the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, everybody has a right to a nationality. And if you don't have a nationality, then you have to be adopted in by the nation for which land you are currently residing, not necessarily residing on, domiciling in. So what that means for Albions, what that means for you modern Europeans, is that you are on foreign stolen land. And in order for you to, and if you do have a nationality, you need to be claiming it, and you need to be realigning yourself with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, 1836, and the United States the Constitution for the United States of America, 1791. You have no choice. That is exactly what you should be doing. Because the preamble of the Constitution specifically was created, it tells you in the preamble, by the people of the United States, for the United States of America minor, to create tranquility, peace, and harmony in Morocco. That was the purpose of it. Okay? A complex and racial charged issue. Land is a complex issue in South Africa. Racist policies of the past forced moved blacks, Moors, and foreigners from the land this is the verbiage, and non-white South Africans. So that's talking about other foreigners. So they're moving the sovereigns of the land off the land, as well as the foreigners who probably have interest on the land, in favor of the colonized individuals who purpose, through the doctrine of discovery and the secret treaty of Verona, was specifically targeting Aboriginal indigenous individuals to steal their land, their wealth, and their resources, and take it back to their sister or their home country, which for some of them was Great Britain, other was France, Germany, all these different places. That was their purpose for even coming to our lands, to steal our resources in our land. There has been land redistribution and restitution provisions in the country's constitution since South Africa held its first democratic elections in 1994. Let me tell you, they shouldn't be using that verbiage either. They're talking Republican. They're literally talking Republican because the Republican Constitution, the Republican form of government is a government of the people, the sovereigns of the state, the sovereigns of the land. A Republican form of government, which your Constitution under Article 4, Section 4 of the American Constitution specifically tells you that every state is to be a Republican form of government. And when we talk about a Republican form of government, it's a government by the people, for the people. And the people are the sovereigns. They make the laws, they make the rules, and those so-called elected officials are supposed to do their bidding. They are put in a trustee position in order to secure the rights and the liberties of the sovereigns of that particular landmass. That is what a Republican form of government is, and that's why you have the right to it. Okay? The political debate over land reform has stepped up a level ahead of next year's election. Farm seizures, as described in Fox reports, are ongoing in South Africa. However, President Ramaphosas announced on July 31st that the ruling African National Congress, meaning the sovereigns of the land, would seek to change the country's constitution to explicitly allow land that was seized during apartheid, which is colonization, secret treaty of Verona, Spanish Inquisition, doctrine of discovery. And the Pope actually vacated the doctrine of discovery and all this stuff. He done disbanded everything. And these individuals are still trying to do business as usual, lying to you, using the secret treaty of Verona, so you don't know what the hell is going on. What they're seeking is to seize land, which is all of it. that has been illegally, through genocidal practices, taken from them by foreign occupiers. All right? On Wednesday, Ramaphosas told Parliament that expatriations reformed one part of the border, land redistribution and agricultural development programs that would only be introduced following public and parliamentary consultations. Somebody needs to look up what a parliamentary, because that's not our type of, we shouldn't even be using that verbiage. What that speaks to me is that somebody put him in place in order to do a specific thing, which could mean that he was not elected by the people, which is why they don't have a Republican form of government. They have a Democratic form of government, which means that it is corporation. It's being run by the corporation, not by the sovereigns of the land, the people. But I can't confirm that because I haven't done the research of that landmass. I'm concerned in North America, but I want you to realize they are our brothers and sisters, and we should be concerned about things going on over there. Just like they should be concerned about things going on over here, because we all, based on the Circle 7, Chapter 25 Quran, are brothers and sisters, and only one mother has given us all suck. So we can sit here and call ourselves all different types of things, and we have the free will to do that, but at the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters. All right. Now, when we talk about, despite Trump's claim about large-scale killings of farmers, if you want to know what's really going on in Africa, who should you ask? South Africa. If you really want to know what's going on, you should be checking into their local news, which you can do by a multitude of internet options, and finding out what's really going on over there in South Africa, because you're not going to get the truth in the media's here. And I already told you why you ain't gonna get the truth, because of the secret treaty of Rona. All right. And I'm not going to get into all of that particular lies, because I don't spread lies. I spread facts. All right. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little glimpse of what you should be paying attention to. And they want to vilify him. They want to vilify Julius Malema. While I don't think you should be calling your people black, but a lot of our people still use those misnomers because our people, they can't identify in their national creed. And that has been done systematically through the educational systems that our people have been putting their children through, as well as through all of these media and entertainment outlets, through the secret treaty of Verona, to denationalize you so you won't fight for your rights. Because people who are outside of the national form, people who are outside of their nationality don't have any rights, and that's the issue. They want to keep you there so they can keep hypothecating and doing what they want to do, right? So I say that all to say, support your brothers and sisters all around the world, because they are you and we are them, and we need to be reforming unity with all our brothers and sisters all over our landmass. It is our job, it is our duty, per the prophecies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He was a universal prophet. He wasn't even just our prophet. He just came in the likeness of us because we needed him more, because we were the most disenfranchised. We were the most decolonized. We were the most messed up. The people of South Africa, they're using these terminologies and phraseologies, calling them black, but I guarantee you, they're not using those terminologies in their news outlets and on their social medias, because they're not in the business of denationalizing themselves. When that news and information comes on our landmass, that's when they change the verbiage to support those secret treaty of Verona. To use the media to denationalize you, to use the media to create schisms within our family, to use the media to hypothecate your vast estate by educating you falsely on bullshit. So family, the best thing they said, one of the things they said is, if you want to hide the truth from our people, hide it in a book, because we don't want to read. And what reading etymologically means is interpreting what we are interpreting the words that we're reading is the interpretation. It's not just to be sitting here to be able to say sweet was and it's not to be able to just say that. It's to be able to interpret exactly what the message they're trying to convey. whether it be a positive, whether it be schism generated, whether it be causing unity or disunity, you need to be able to read. And speaking on you need to be able to read, there is going to be a class on September 22nd at House of Reawakening Minds, which is specifically going to be an all-day class to teach you etymology, which I am going to register for. Me and my son are going to either go or online. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet. It's an 8-hour class. Probably should be there. So I may go down there and be in either in the flesh or on the internet. Haven't decided which one yet. But partake in that. Support these things. Support the things that's going to liberate you. And I implore everybody to partake in that event that is a Moorish event. Even though it's open to all, it's a Moorish event to get our people out of the decolonized mindset and get in the nation building mindset. And the first to be able to do that, you need to be able to interpret what you read. And in order to be able to interpret what you read and decode the message being conveyed to you is through the etymon. I do want to come to Mara. I have every intentions to come. It's always a travel thing because I am not letting these individuals mess my day up. Hell no. So, like I say, my 100% plan is to attend in the flesh, in the manifested being. Because I want to see you too. I want to see Abdullah. I want to see you. I want to see Nayela. I want to see all y'all. I wish I was down the street. Y'all be seeing me every Friday. Me and my babies running around the building like it was the last time we was there. It was like, okay, it was funny. I would love to do these things way, way more. And we are pushing that next process, that next phase in regards to identification cards. We're looking for vendors, particularly, right? Oh, you'll pick me up. Oh, I'm there then. I'm there. Me and my son are there. I will purchase those tickets today. Definitely would be there. Will be there. Islam sees. I love you so much and I do miss y'all. Y'all don't understand being around Moors that know who they are and that's in this fight. It's all I'm about. And actually, speaking of unity, we were charged at our last meeting, not the meeting that was last week. Tonight was a prior meeting where we are supposed to create an event in a month, whereas we can meet and greet and find out where the Moors are, where we domicile. So I am going to get with you as well as another sister who's 4 hours away, but she's still close enough, whereas we can organize some type of event where we can bring all the Moors as well as nationalize or denationalize, and that'll be a beautiful event to love, share, grow, and connect with our fellow Moors that we ain't got to convince to be them damn selves. Islam. So I'm going to touch bases with you guys in regards to that pretty soon, okay? But I gotta go to the post office and pick up some mail, and then I gotta go to work. I like that song. I ain't even gonna front y'all, but I don't like when our celebrities denationalize us by calling us black people. I have issues with that. I have issues with movies that do it. I have issues with, you are Moors, and we need to push. Don't call me black, Negro, or colored. If you can't use the word more, I ain't watching your video. I ain't watching your movie. I ain't watching none of your stuff. We have to get into the habit of boycotting when people violate our rules and regulations, which are laws. We don't make rules and regulations because we the sovereigns. We make laws, y'all, right? So I gotta go though. I love you. It's happy holy day. The day man came in the flesh and the day he was departed from flesh. Islam. First there was the Word. The Word was before there was you and me. The Word has power, y'all. Learn the words through that Edamon class on September the 22nd at the House of Reawakening Minds, which I will be there. Tamara L would be there, and I love all of the work you were doing with putting House of Reawakening Minds I just love the work you're doing, and you know I do. You know I do. So, Islam family, peace and love. Happy holy day. It's the day of Venus, the day of creation, the day of relaxation. So relax today. Learn something or educate yourself or grow in your Moorish nationality and your Moorish laws. And Pax et Amor and Dies in Bonum.